Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is episode 2 overall, but the first episode of Thursday Night Turbulence here at Full Throttle Wrestling. We're excited with a great night of action for you tonight. We are continuing with our tournaments to crown our first ever champions. If you missed the first episode of Xplosion, please go check that out. We explained a few things, but I'll go over it again here as well. These first few weeks of these episodes are going to be tournaments, and we're going to crown our first ever champions at the pay-per-view at the end of the month, Ascension. This is another first round matchup for our mid-card belt, the television championship. This right here is Falcon, a legend in the lucha scene. You know, he may be a veteran, but he's still got plenty in the tank, and he's here to show the FTW fans everything he's got here tonight. Now, he doesn't have an easy matchup tonight. He's got somebody that can match his pace. There's not too many guys in the company that can say that. So this should be a high-flying, high-speed affair.
And his opponent from Aurora, Colorado, weighing in at 205 pounds, Wildcat Blake Rivers.
And right on cue, his opponent making his way to the ring, Wildcat Blake Rivers. This is one of the most interesting characters I've ever met in my entire life. You know, he's a bit, let's just say a bit separated from the rest of the locker room for multiple reasons. But one thing is for certain, he can get it done when he steps in between those ropes. You may not find too many things outside the ring that you align with him. You know, I really don't know too much about this guy. He keeps to himself. He's quite shy, to be honest, but it's just something about when he steps through those curtains and comes out in front of these fans, he turns it up a notch with the energy, and he's got enough confidence to last in this ring with anybody. And we are underway with the first ever episode of Thursday Night Turbulence. Again, a few things I want to explain. There are 2 weekly shows on this program. We've got Tuesday Xplosion as Blake Rivers goes into the first cover of the matchup. We've got Tuesday Xplosion and Thursday Night Turbulence. So the first episode of Xplosion is already up on the channel. Go check that out, please. And we'll have 2 weekly shows, and then we'll have our pay-per-views at the end of the month. So, not a difficult schedule to follow. I will try to be consistent with these uploads as I'm enjoying this universe mode. As Blake Rivers goes into a very unique pinning combination. That's the thing about Blake Rivers. He just kind of hits you out of nowhere with this weird offense that you can't really scout. You don't see it coming because he's just a one-of-a-kind guy that you don't know what's going on in his mind. But a guy like Falcon, he's been around, you know, especially in the lucha style. He's seen a lot of different things in his days, so maybe he might be the best matchup for a guy like Blake Rivers in this one. Again, this is a first round matchup in our mid-card championship tournament, the television championship. This is the second of 4 first round matchups. We'll be completing those over the next few weeks, and we'll move on to the semis. And once we get down to the finals, all of those matches will be contested at the pay-per-view Ascension at the end of the month. Really looking forward to that. I'm excited to crown our first ever champions. As Falcon goes for some of that high-flying lucha offense, but he just can't seem to hit the mark there. He's got to dial it back in a little bit and find his pace here. And he's really taken it to Blake Rivers so far, you know. But a guy like Blake, you can never count him out. He's never. It only takes a couple of moves for him to really get into it, just like that. He's ready to get right back in this matchup. And a sickening thud on that clothesline to the back of the head. You know, Blake Rivers got a bit of a mean streak to him. And here he is again with that unique pinning combination, and the ref is just having a spasm, and he couldn't get down to make a count in time. I'm sure Blake isn't happy about that one. Might have to look into if Falcon's got this ref on his payroll. I know Ray's an admirable guy. He wouldn't do that, but very intriguing to see the ref just not go for the count there. But Ray looks like he's got Blake in his sights. He's got him lined up for a meteor off the top rope there. Again, 2 very, very similar styles. Both high-flying, both high-pace. As Ray hits him with a wheelbarrow stunner right there, is that going to be enough to send Blake packing and out of this tournament? 1, 2, no! Kick out at 2. Blake said he's not done fighting yet. Ray's going to have to pull a little bit more out if he wants to send Blake packing and move on in this tournament. And he's got him set up for Falcon's fall, but he misses. Blake clearly had that move well scouted as he rolls out of the way right at the last second. Falcon's fall, or Falcon's fall in English. is Ray Falcon's finishing maneuver. That diving rolling senton off the top rope. But Blake looks to take advantage and get back in this matchup. It's been mostly Ray going through this one. And Blake's ready to say, don't count me out yet. I'm still here. And a perfectly executed reverse DDT there by Rivers. I think he's got Ray right where he wants him right about now. He's starting to get some momentum back in this matchup now. And he hits him with a beautiful Hurricane Rana. And Ray just has no choice but to roll out of the outside. And I think Blake was going to go for a high-flying dive there if the ref didn't get in his way. But instead, he hits him with Rivers End. Is that going to be enough to send Ray Falcon packing? Got to get him back in the ring and go for the pinfall here. That's exactly what Blake looks to do. He falls into the cover. Is that enough? Is Blake moving on in the tournament? Not quite yet. He's still got more work to do here in this one. And I think Ray is just about done with the games. He's ready to send this one home and move on in this tournament. He knows the longer this match goes on, Blake is very resilient and can really just find some energy out of nowhere, find that second win really deep in the matches. So he wants to put this one away as soon as he can. And just because he's a little man doesn't mean he can't do these moves. Look at that, a German suplex, then a body slam right there into the diving elbow. And he follows that up with a beautiful springboard moonsault, just showing off some of that high-flying ability he's got. I think he's just weakening that body up so we can really hit him with the big-time move, Falcon's Fall. He's been looking for it. He went for it once already. Can he get it the second time? Yes. Will this be enough to send Blake home and move on in the tournament? Not quite. Not quite. If he had hit that first one, maybe this second one would have been enough to advance him in this tournament. But he's still got more punishment to dish out for Blake. Is Blake going to be able to get back in this matchup? I mean, this is a fan favorite match right here. There is no bad guy here. The fans love both of these dudes here. So whoever wins, I think the fans are going to be happy. They're just excited. They're excited they're getting to see this fun match right here on free television. Thursday Night Turbulence. We bring the money, baby. Yeah. And this is a really unique aspect of a Ray Falcon match. I mean, he's able to really pick up Blake in this one and kind of hit him with a few wrestling grapple moves that we don't see too often out of Ray. Usually he is the smaller guy in the matchup, but Blake not being a really big guy himself, like I said, they match up really well in this one. Ray's able to open his bag up a little bit, and we've seen him hit him with a released German suplex earlier. Like, he's able to do a little bit more in this matchup than normal. And a lovely slingshot X Factor right there. He's just really setting him up. I think Ray's really feeling the momentum of this match, and he's ready to go home on this one. Off the top rope with a double axe handle there, and I think he's ready to go home. He's setting him up for Falcon's Fall, and it hits again. That should do it, Ray Falcon. You are moving on to the next round in the tournament. What a valiant effort from Blake Rivers, but he couldn't overcome Ray Falcon in this one.
Here is your winner, Ray Falcon.
So far, we've got Ray Falcon and Elliot Knight to move on in this television championship tournament. We'll continue next week with this tournament on Xplosion. But up next, we've got the next match in our Women's United States Championship Tournament. Folks, this should be an exciting one. Now, what we saw in Xplosion was Raven versus Akira Sato, and that was a bit one-sided. This one, the sides are a bit more even. We've got the social media megastar Scarlette Devine, and she'll be taking on one of the toughest, grittiest workhorse women in all of the world of wrestling, Maya Lawson. Let's see if Scarlette can get on top of Maya in this one. We already know what Maya's ability is, but Scarlette, she's a bit sneaky. She's got underhanded tactics that she's not afraid to tap into to win a match. She will do whatever it takes to get to that championship, because that's going to bring her more followers on social media, if you know what I mean. More trending posts, more clicks. That's all she's about. So if a championship helps that out, she's definitely going to give her all for it. I'll remind you again, first episode of Xplosion was the first match in this tournament where we saw Raven versus Akira Sato. and Raven absolutely dominated that matchup. So Raven has already moved on in this tournament. Let's see who moves on here out of this matchup to the next round, the semifinals of our Women's United States Championship Tournament.
And her opponent from Buffalo, New York,
The shirt says it all. The definition of greatness. When Maya steps into the ring, there is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. She is the best wrestler in the ring. One of the best women's wrestlers in the world. Not just women's wrestlers, one of the best wrestlers in the world, period. She can get it flat out, get it done, no matter what. No matter who is across from her in that ring, she is the favorite. But make no mistake about it, Scarlette Devine is no pushover whatsoever. This should be a tightly contested matchup, and I'm excited to see what we've got right here in front of us. Come check us out on TikTok. You know, we post a bunch of shorts. I've got a series of wrestler spotlight videos I've been posting on that account. TikTok is Chance Plays FTW. I'll put the account title right here on the screen, and I'll also leave it in the description if you want to come check us out. I throw the highlights of every single episode on that TikTok account. And yeah, we're just trying to grow this channel as much as we can. So check us out on TikTok, share with your friends. If you're enjoying the content, leave a like, comment, all that good stuff. Appreciate all the feedback, guys. I'm really trying to make this a great series for all of us, not just for me, for you guys too. So hopefully this is entertaining as Scarlette Devine just hits her with those nasty kicks. But you know, Maya's not just going to stay down for long. As she kicks her right off of her, gets right back on the offensive side. And this is the thing about Maya. She might smile when she's outside of the ring, but as soon as she steps inside of the rope, she's all business. It's nothing but pure violence from her. She's ready to take down her opponent any means necessary. Scarlette, you know, she can be a bit full of herself, and a bit cocky. May not be able to all the way back up what she claims, but for the most part, she is a very capable wrestler, and you can't just look past her. You know, you might want to write her off as this bratty social media star, as Maya goes into the cover here and doesn't even get a 1 count. What's up with these refs and these slow counts today? Do I need to fire everybody and go get some new refs? Fellas, if you want to come referee for Full Throttle Wrestling, please sign up. Clearly, we're looking for new talent. All jokes aside, Maya gets her picked up from the Irish whip rebound and slams her down with that fall-away slam. What strength from Maya Lawson. That's another thing about Maya. She's one of the strongest women on the roster. I think she might be one of the few that could really take on Raven if it comes down to that in this tournament, who's already moved on. And she's looking to set her up for Newton's Law. What goes up must come down. Is that going to be enough to send her to the next round? Not quite. Almost. Scarlette was almost down for the 3 count, but she just kicks out at the last second. A perfectly executed backbreaker there off the sidewalk slam. She's going to continue that offense with a running knee drop there. What? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, what's going on here? Hey, who is this? Security, who is this coming down the ramp? How do we let paparazzi get down here? Oh, and he takes a picture and flashes Maya Lawson. A different kind of flash, but it still worked the same. Scarlette hits her with the highlight reel is what she calls that. Is that going to be enough to send her on to the next round? Only a 1 count. Wow, what resolve from Maya. And that's the thing. Those are the kind of things I'm talking about when it comes to Scarlette Devine. She may not be the very best in that ring, but she's got all the underhanded tactics. I have no doubt in my mind that she set that up herself. That's right up her alley. You know, she is the social media megastar. She's always got paparazzi following her. I'm sure she's got a few people on the payroll that she could come in and interfere in her matches. And Scarlette just sits her down with that backpack stunner there. Clearly she wasn't fazed by this random paparazzi guy that just happened to stroll down my ramp. Maybe I need to have a talk with security also. I've got new refs I gotta go get. I've got new security I've gotta go get. This is the life of being the owner of a wrestling promotion, man. There's just so many things that go wrong on a daily basis, and I've got to tie up all these loose ends. Well, be that as it may, we've still got a match going on here. I might need to have a talk with Scarlette after this one if she comes out of here with a victory because of that, you know, underhanded tactic. And might have to issue out a few suspensions. And she gets her with that massive big boot off that Irish whip. That might have knocked Maya's lights out. Oh, and she just gets that left shoulder up before the 3 count. I thought she was done for the count there. That was a massive big boot right to the chops. Might have knocked a couple teeth out right there. And she follows it right up with clickbait is what she calls that. I mean, Scarlette is absolutely bringing it to Maya in this match. You know, she might have snuck her way back into momentum, swung the momentum back on her side of things with that paparazzi stunt there, but all props to Scarlette in the ring. She's getting it done here tonight. And if she pulls off this win, this might be one of the biggest upsets in the tournament so far. Just absolutely softening up that back with those elbows. And then she hits her with backstage pass, that nasty backstabber. Is this going to be the one that finally puts Maya down for the 3 count? Holy moly. Maya Lawson just refuses to stay down for that 3 count. She wants that United States Championship more than anybody in this tournament. I can just feel it. But Scarlette is determined to get some more followers on Instagram and TikTok. And she's going to need a nice, shiny gold and blue belt around her waist for that. But Maya said, I'm not done. With a nasty misfire there, she swung at Casper in the corner, and Scarlette takes advantage of that. That's one thing about Scarlette. She is taking advantage of the opportunity she's getting up until that point right there. And I think Maya is finally pissed off enough to take her a little bit more serious and start to put her away here. Those shoulder thrusts right into the corner. Couple of stomps down also. Whoa, whoa, watch the boobs, watch the boobs. Oh, well, that's just unethical. And she hits her with hard justice, that discus big boot. Scarlett's got a big boot of her own, but I think Maya's packs a little bit more of a punch, but not enough to keep Scarlette down for the 3 count. Wow. How many more near falls are we going to get in this matchup? This has been an excellent match so far. It looks like it might be coming to an end soon. Maya hits her again with Newton's Law, and this has to do it. Maya Lawson, you've moved on to the next round in the United States Championship Tournament. What an excellent affair. Excellent, excellent match. Then you absolutely deserve to celebrate here, Maya. That was a hard-hitting affair, a lot of back-and-forth action. She overcame Scarlett's paparazzi stunt and still came out with the victory here. So props to Maya. Scarlette, back to the drawing board for you on how to get that championship around your waist. And here we are. A much shorter episode this week. We've just got the 3 matches, all tournament matches here. This is our main event of the evening. The next match in our World Championship Tournament.
It's scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring from Asbury Park, New Jersey, weighing in at 233 pounds.
Zane Cruz, the spotlight attraction. This guy right here oozes aura, and he can back it up in the ring. Zane is destined to be a world champion, but his journey starts tonight in the first round of this tournament. I know what it would mean to Zane to become the first ever inaugural Full Throttle Wrestling World Champion. This is what he's been dreaming for. He thrives in the spotlight. He wants to be the man known as the first in company history. He wants to carry this company on his back. But he's got to get through this tournament first to get there. And this is no easy matchup for Mr. Cruz.
And his opponent from Manhattan, New York, weighing in at 230 pounds, Mr. Hunter Pierce.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Hunter Pierce. He calls himself The Investment. What a matchup we've got. The spotlight attraction versus The Investment. Hunter Pierce believes that FTW's greatest signing, no, scratch that. Any wrestling company's greatest signing will always be Hunter Pierce. Hunter Pierce raises the bar of what it means to be excellent. Not just in the ring, on the mic. Everything he does is excellent. In his own eyes, he'll tell you that himself. I'm just giving you what he told me backstage, what he wanted me to be. His commentary notes were. I've got my own thoughts about him, but I'll keep those to myself and just focus on this nice matchup we've got here in this FTW World Championship Tournament. And it looks like Hunter wants to come out firing. He understands how important this match is, how important this tournament is. He also wants to be called the first ever FTW World Champion in an early 2 count. Very surprising by Zane Cruz. I don't think that move really took enough out of him. I think he's just kind of giving himself an extra second to breathe. That's what that was. But Hunter is staying on top of Zane. He's not giving him a second to breathe. He knows what Zane brings to the table inside this ring, and not to downplay Hunter himself. He is also a very capable wrestler. If anything, he might be a little bit better on the mat than Zane Cruz. But Zane brings that intensity. He brings that intensity. He brings the energy, and that could be enough to sway the momentum, get the fans on his side. And he really gets into a matchup. So Hunter wants to really stay on top of this one and keep the fans out of this one, so that way he could just cruise through this match and get to the next round. And holy shit! He just took out the ref. What a smooth clothesline. We're going to have a talk. I've got a lot of people I got to have discussion with after this episode. First of all, our refs are not counting. My security is just letting paparazzi walk through. And now I've got wrestlers attacking my refs. What kind of a company am I running, man? And that is just gnarly. Blocking those legs up, but then snatching him back. Hitting his back on those knees. A couple of quick stomps down to the midsection in that corner. Hunter is just doing his thing. He's staying on top of Zane, not giving him a second to breathe in this match. He understood the assignment. He did his scouting beforehand. Even though this company's new, all these guys have been wrestling for, most of these guys have been wrestling for a little bit now. I'm sure they've seen each other's matches, right? They know what to expect out of each other. So, this is a great scout job by Hunter Pierce, if I might say so far. He's done a great job to start off this matchup, just really taking charge of this one and staying on top of everything. And as I say that, Zane Cruz gets right back into it, sidesteps, and Hunter goes flying out of the ring. And I think this is where Zane starts to pick it up a little bit more. And it looked like Zane was turning the corner in this matchup, but Hunter gets right back into it with a quick knee to the side of the head. He shoots him back in the ring. I think he was really trying to shoot him into those steel steps, but, the game just lets him get sent back into the ring, so a safe call for Zane Cruz. But Hunter Pierce is just not backing down. Hits him with a high-impact move right there. He is not letting his foot off the gas. Maybe been a little bit too aggressive there, but then counters again and hits him with a German suplex. What can I say about Hunter Pierce? He is absolutely doing what he needs to do in this match to move on in this tournament. And I apologize if you heard that thunder in the background. There certainly is a tornado warning happening outside, but that does not stop the show. And Zane Cruz says the same thing. I'm coming back with that float over DDT. Bringing the thunder himself, if I might say. And here's that high energy I said Zane could bring. He hits him with that springboard moonsault. Zane is certainly capable of flying off the top ropes and getting things done in the air as well as on the mat. Well-versed superstar we've got here in this company. I think he'd be a great champion for us if he can get past Hunter and make it to the next round here. Hits him with a real simple DDT. He can do the high-flying moves. He can do the simple moves. It does not matter to Zane. And this one spills out to the outside a little bit. And Zane's going to set him up with that backstabber. Now, usually he follows that up with his submission, the submission reel. But, no point of blocking a submission in on the ringside area. He shoots it back into the ring. I thought he was going to go for a cover, but he's got more moves up his sleeve. And there it is, the rolling credits. And that should do it. 1, 2, 3, Zane Cruz has moved on to round 2 of the FTW World Championship Tournament. Now that's going to be all for this week's episode, but again, we are back. 2 weekly shows, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Tuesday night Xplosion, Thursday night Turbulence. Tuesday we'll have more action in these tournaments rolling on. We'll see the highly anticipated Victor Blackwell versus Lucas Vogel tournament matchup. There's been some heat boiling over there. I'm excited to see what happens in that matchup. It could get dirty. Join us back next Tuesday. Thank you. See you then.